At 5 o'clock with some breaking news to share with you. A medical emergency happened this afternoon for a beloved member of the community and the U of L basketball family.
Multiple sources are confirming to WHAS11 News today that Junior Bridgman had a medical emergency during a speaking engagement at the Galt House today. Bridgman was the featured guest of the leadership luncheon for Lincoln Heritage Council, the Scouting Group of America. Now, people who were at the event tell WHAS11 News that Bridgman was talking to the large crowd when he suddenly said, "I think I'm having a heart attack." Measures were taken to try to save his life, and EMS was called. Bridgman, the owner and CEO of Heartland Coca-Cola Bottling Company, plus has also a 10% stake in the Milwaukee Bucks. He played at U of L from 1972 to 1975 under the legendary coach Denny Crum. Bridgman led the Cardinals to the Final Four his senior year. We'll continue to update this story on air and on the WHAS11 app. By the way, we are in contact with Bridgman's family for further details. And on a personal note, I've covered Bridgman for my entire career here, and our prayers are with his amazing family. They are at the hospital this afternoon. Also tonight at 5, an adopted son of former Kentucky Governor Matt Bevin wants to press charges against him, accusing Bevin and the former First Lady of abandoning him in Jamaica.
Well, just days ago, 18-year-old Jonah Bevin secured an emergency protective order against the former governor, who is ordered to keep his distance and forfeit his guns. Isaiah Kim Martinez interviewed Jonah today, and Isaiah, these are some pretty serious allegations.
Well, Doug Shea, indeed. So far, Jonah Bevin has filed a police report here in Louisville against his adoptive parents, hoping this will lead to charges. He tells me they've caused him pain and trauma and need to be held responsible for their actions. If your adoptive parents are watching this, do you have a message for them?
Y'all thought I wasn't going to speak about this, but I'm going to speak about this. Like, y'all tried to hide things and did things in a very shady way. And, I mean, you're going to get your consequences for it.
Jonah Bevin with strong words for former Kentucky Governor Matt Bevin and former First Lady Glenna Bevin, the couple who adopted him from Ethiopia when he was 5 years old. And along the way, Jonah felt used for Bevin's political gain.
There's a lot of pictures, photographs, family things, and those were just like a make-believe fantasy of what a family should be like. What actually was going on, there's a divorce, kids are being sent away.
Jonah claims the Bevins, who are currently going through a divorce, abandoned him as a teenager at an abusive Jamaican boarding school. It's now shut down after authorities raided the facility on reports of terrible conditions and denying kids food, leaving Jonah in Jamaica's custody for a time. Your adoptive father, did he threaten you?
Yes, he has threatened me before. He said some interesting things to me, like I could take your life away, but not necessarily as in like, I'm gonna kill you. It's more like I can ruin you. I can ruin who you are, you know?
Jonah, back in the U.S. and now homeless since he turned 18 late last year, wants his adoptive father criminally prosecuted. He talked to me just days after securing an emergency protective order against the former governor, whose attorney didn't respond to my request for comment. Glenna Bevin's attorney didn't call me back either. Now, Jonah and his attorney have been told the FBI has also been briefed here, though the Bureau wouldn't confirm those details to me. Quick note here, coming up at 6, a lot has been talked about when it comes to Jonah Bevin's life in the spotlight and his adoptive father's multiple campaigns on the political stage. We'll hear his thoughts on that here coming up in the next hour. Doug Shea.
All right, Isaiah, thank you. A former Manual High School football coach will face trial in November. Donnie Stoner is pleading not guilty to 20 counts of sex abuse charges. Investigators say Stoner abused a 17-year-old student at his home and at the school. Stoner is now on home incarceration. His trial is scheduled for November 18th.
Meantime, the U.S. Supreme Court has agreed to hear a case challenging a Colorado law banning conversion therapy for minors. Kaylee Childs, a Colorado counselor and practicing Christian, claims patients voluntarily seek out her services. She says a ban on conversion therapy violates her First Amendment rights to free speech and religion. According to Childs, she helps people reduce or eliminate unwanted sexual attractions and change sexual behaviors. Critics, including the American Psychological Association, warn that conversion therapy causes significant distress and negative self-image. Lawyers for the state of Colorado are standing by the ban.
It's harming kids. It doesn't do anything of value. Colorado like many states, regulates therapists. And when there's a practice of therapy that is viewed as harmful and has no value, Colorado bans it.
This case is set to be argued during the Supreme Court's next term, and that will start in the fall.
And we have a look at the packed state capitol from the statewide fairness rally today. LGBTQ advocates were in Frankfort protesting a slate of laws they say target the LGBTQ community. One
bill at the forefront would overturn Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear's ban of conversion therapy. WHAS11's Alexandra Goldberg and photojournalist Jessica Farley take us inside the Capitol Rotunda.
The young people who are here now are like heroes to me. They are so brave.
The Capitol Rotunda in Frankfort, echoing with a rally cry to protect LGBTQ people in Kentucky.
Kids are dying by suicide because they can't get the gender-affirming care they want.
Leading at the podium, Governor Andy Beshear, who explicitly names a House bill that would overturn his ban on conversion therapy for minors. Last year, that ban was codified in an executive order.
Because it is wrong, it is torture, it has been discredited, and it should not be happening in the Commonwealth of Kentucky.
Now, House Bill 495 passed in the House and is in a Senate committee.
And I want you to know that if it passes and it reaches my desk, I will veto it.
The governor does not make laws. That is the job of the Kentucky General Assembly, the people's branch of government. So the purpose of House Bill 495 was to reassert that proper role of the state legislature.
Kentucky House Representative Savannah Maddox, a Republican, says the bill is about parental authority.
In September of last year, Governor Beshear and his administration decided to unilaterally interfere with a parent's ability to raise their child here in the Commonwealth of Kentucky.
Jonathan Lowe from Louisville is the father of 2 transgender children.
Conversion therapy is just another step in that direction, where the anguish when a kid has gender dysphoria and they can't live their own lives and feel welcomed and loved is such that many of them will attempt suicide and some of them will succeed.
Lowe, flag in hand, observing from the balcony.
The fight for civil rights for LGBTQ folks and particularly trans kids is a fight for the lives of my family.
Pushing forward for his vision and for his family. In Frankfort, Alexandra Goldberg, WHAS11 on your side.
At the moment, House Bill 495 is now in a Senate committee. Well, across Kentucky and today, you felt the warm-up. It was finally the day, Shay, I'd say that this was really a spring day on the verge of going into maybe even summer.
That sunshine is wonderful. Did we beat the record, get close to it, Ben?
Just one off the record of 80 degrees. So 79 degrees our current temperature. By far the warmest day we've had so far this year, and more like late May. Average temperatures in late May, upper 70s, and that's where we're at right now, 79 degrees. At wind gusts over 20 miles per hour, so a little bit breezy, but warm breezes bringing in that warm air, and the humidity very low at 18%. And once again today, not a cloud in the sky with our live view here with our Bachman Auto Group cam, part of our U of L Health camera network. Temperatures mid to upper 70s throughout the area. 74 in Elizabethtown, Brandenburg 76, and LaGrange and Frankfort also at 76, 77 in Carrollton, and an all clear sky overhead here for us. So great evening to get out and about. 70s while the sun is up. After sunset, after 8 p.m., we'll start to drop into the 60s, which is still nice and mild out there. Mostly clear and cozy and cool with low temperatures in the lower 50s. And then tomorrow afternoon heading well into the 70s once again, basically a repeat, maybe just a few high clouds out there. So clear and cool tonight, that low temperature at 52 degrees, midday temps well into the 60s tomorrow with another mostly sunny sky, and just beautiful for our Wednesday with a high up to 76 degrees. The 70s will roll on all the way through Saturday, but eventually a storm system's going to move in for very late night Friday into Saturday. We'll talk more about what we could see out of that storm system coming up in our complete weather impact team forecast.
All right, Ben, thank you. Humana is investing $20 million into its waterside building. The company filed plans to renovate the 10th, 11th, and 12th floors of its soon-to-be headquarters on East Main Street. Work involves new walls, doors, structural modifications, and a modified stair. There will also be new plumbing, mechanical, and electrical all throughout the space. The Louisville-based health insurer is looking to sell its original headquarters on Main Street in the heart of downtown. That listing is not up yet, and there is no word on what the price will be. The American Red Cross has selected a D.C. exec to lead its Kentucky region. As the new CEO, Nadine McCrindle will lead life-saving operations that include over 1,000 volunteers and 40 employees. From disaster relief efforts to supporting the U.S. military community and their families, she will also serve as the executive director for the Louisville area chapter, one of 5 in the region. McCrindle started her Red Cross career in Oregon about 6 years ago. She has since served across the country. The American Red Cross Kentucky region serves more than 4 million people throughout 117 counties.
New today, Louisville Metro Housing Authority releasing a strategic plan covering the rehabbing of their current buildings, opening new ones, and reopening their Section 8 waiting list.
Reporter Travis Breeze is here now with the director's message as they move forward. Travis.
Shay, Elizabeth Strojan says when she took over at the end of 2023, their voucher tracking system and other internal operations were in disarray. They're trying to correct those while at the same time not having any disruption to the thousands of Louisvillians who need them. The agency has over 11,000 housing vouchers right now, and their wait lists are closed because the demand is so high and also because of internal issues like how they are tracked and administered. The strategic plan released today calls for rehabbing of old properties, opening new ones, and also enhancing technology and customer service.
We can't do one thing at a time. We can't focus on public housing and then we'll get to Section 8 later. You know, we can't wait to improve our internal operations. So we have a lot to do this year.
The Metro Housing Authority is also leading the charge to relocate about 350 people still at Dosker Manor. The plan is to get them out by the end of this year and then demolish the property and rebuild in the same location. There have been reports of mold, bed bugs, also some stabbings and shootings inside the property. Strojan says they will get vouchers to replace the ones that are lost when knocking down Dosker Manor. She also says they're watching closely to see what kind of funding Congress gives to the federal Department of Housing and Urban Development, as they get 90% of their funding from HUD. In the studio, Travis Breeze, WHAS 11 on your side.